It may still be Samhain, and I may still be wearing my Samhain fashion, but you know what? Winter's coming, and there's something I wanted to review for winter. 4 things actually. Seasonal recipes, but they only ever made them for one event, Yule, and only for 1 year, 2017. Let's take a look at these real quick. You got Gingerbread Man, Chocolate Lord McClure, Mince Pie, and Yule Pudding, all 25 levels apart. And it should be noted that these books are green. Other books are red, blue, or I think black, but only these seasonal ones are green. And I think they were sold from this lady back then. I don't know, my memory's a little bit fuzzy, but I know that all 4 of the books combined weren't more than a few grand. Now let's actually see what it takes to make one. I pinned them all up top here just for a quick look. Alright, mince pie. A batch of deliciously festive mince pies prepared traditionally around Yule. Eat for a warm and fuzzy feeling of festive cheer for the next 5 minutes. You can only gain the effect of one type of food at a time. Now, this says warm and fuzzy feeling. I ate a bunch of them before and didn't notice anything. Just saying. Maybe we could figure out that mystery today, but I don't think so. And uses butter, dried fruit, holiday spices, garden extract. It's a very easy recipe. So we'll just make that real quick to show you. Bing bang boom, done in like 2 seconds. Gingerbread Man, a traditional Yule biscuit adored by both children and adults alike. Eat to put 15% of festive movement speed in your step for 1 minute. You can only gain the whatever 1 time. So this is just like a mini travel potion, but way shorter and way less effective. Not the best thing. But, I mean, it's rare. It doesn't stack. If it stacked, it would be amazing, but whatever is highest effect, that's what happens with movement speed and attack speed and things like that. Yule pudding, a delicious Yule pudding made to celebrate and ring in the winter season with family and friends. Eat to restore 400 health and energy. This is just a baby rest though, but very easy to make. So, it's actually a nice recipe. And we cooked a good one. Alright. Chocolate Lord McClure. Festive foil wrap treat molded in the likeness of Lord McClure. Eat to boost Scholar ability by 1000 for 5 minutes. Scholar is XP criticals, and 5 minutes, decent amount of time, but 1000 to that ability. That's a lot. And that actually kind of stacks. It doesn't stack in the traditional sense, but Scholar is for XP crits, and you can use it alongside XP elixirs, so you can make your elixirs a little bit more effective. Good for rich people. And Chocolate Lord McClure is by far the most popular recipe. And we'll get to that in a second. But there's something we need to go over, something that's common between all 4 of these recipes. Note that they all use holiday spice. And compare these to other recipes. See, this requires some kind of crop. This requires some kind of fish. This requires some kind of exquisite food. But these Yule recipes take very easy to obtain ingredients, because they can all be bought from the shop, which is amazing. You could just buy hundreds of each thing and make it all in like 2 seconds. No crop picking, no having to pay a middleman farm for you, none of that. And I cooked a few beforehand because, well, they're good for selling. So, as seen back there, same exact description, but as you click on different tiers, they're a little bit different. See, it says exquisitely, perfectly, I don't know, okay? Still don't know what a mince pie does, but we'll eat one right now. Festive cheer increased by 200%. Wow! I don't think it does anything. People said in the past that it would make you fart or burp or something. I'd never seen it, so I don't really believe it. Maybe it's like those cupcakes and stuff in the other video I did where the effect is so downsized you could barely see it. It's very possible. Let's see what else we got. Gingerbread Man, 15%. Exquisite one's 30%. I mean, it's a small upgrade. I guess that Perfected is 45. Just makes you run slightly faster. And as said, it doesn't stack with other things. Even though it's on the effect bar too. No effect there. Let's see, I can use... I'll use this Hellsteed. You'll see when it's about to run out. Is what we're doing, 15 speed versus 32? Yeah. So we'll just wait for that to tick down. Alright. Compare our speed here. See, nothing changed. So, Gingerbread Man's pretty useless. Yule Pudding. Higher tier gets more health and energy. I'm guessing Perfected's 800. Not a bad food except for the level requirement, but it's lower than, say, a fruitcake. And it gives you a nice healthy balance of two things. But McLure, it's not only popular for this insane scholar ability, and I mean insane, look at that, but exquisite and perfected Lord McLures aren't Lord McLures. See, when you cook an exquisite Lord McLure, you get a chocolate mortis, which is 1500 treasure hunter ability, which is gold criticals, and that's even more than 1000, obviously. I don't think it's as useful, but I mean, it's decent. But the perfected one is what people are after. It's called a chocolate Gelabron, and it gives you 500 cooking mastery for 5 minutes. And that cooking mastery is what people want to make Barra Briss, or maybe even more chocolate Gelabrons. It's a cycle effect. Definitely very helpful. So, all of these recipes are very easy to make. Like I said, all shop bought stuff. And the stuff's pretty cheap. It's probably like around 100 gold to make each one, if that. And if no one else is selling them, you can just toss them in the auction house for, say, 1,000. You have no competition, right? And that's why people are paying a premium for recipe books. I almost sold this set of all four for 1 million. And I only paid maybe a few grand, right? It's a huge profit there. If I could land it, at least. The guy couldn't get the money on time, some crap, I don't know. But it definitely shows there's interest there. And these holiday spices used to go for good money. Because when they took out the books at the end of Yule 2017, they took out the holiday spices too. So people like me had thousands, and we slowly sold them off for way over shop. I think I was getting 500 gold per toward the end, and there were only 50 in the shop. But Yule 2018, they brought back the spices, but not the books. And after Yule 2018, they left these in the shop, so A little bit bad for that, but at least it increases the demand for recipe books because people won't have to worry about overly rare spices now. But let me tell you a little story, and why I think these recipes are important. I used to play Furyion. It was a computer MMO a lot of years back, and it recently shut down, but that's not the point. When the game was first starting out, it was basically like a beta, and there was a cooking job in that game, and recipes, of course. And I did this quest, and I got this recipe that would let you make a food that would turn you into a cow. It was like a poorly modeled cow, for 30 minutes. It was very easy to make. Then a few years passed, right? And I was just minding my own business, was decently successful then trading. Then I was like, wait a minute, I got this little recipe. So I made a few and just messed around a bunch of people as a gigantic cow, and people are like, whoa, how'd you do that? I'm like, man, I got this recipe. They're like, I want some. So I was like, alright. Then I went around selling them for $5 grand per, and it only cost me maybe like 50 to make. I would just hire a bunch of people to get all the ingredients for me. I make stuff, and I was loaded at the end of that, man. I could buy anything I wanted in a very small amount of time. And that's why I jumped on these recipes, because I knew that it could be a similar concept. But the one thing is that this food is stat based and not fashion based like my other game. So it doesn't have as much of a draw, but it's definitely rare. And if you're one of the lucky owners of this recipe, I think it'll pay off for you if you try and sell some of this stuff. Just don't make it look too common. And I'm very shocked that they stopped at only one event. There's so many other things they could have done. Like, say for this event, they could have did pumpkin pie, candy corn, or just anything really. There's 2 quick ideas right there. It's not like they have to model anything new to make food. They just have to make an icon and slap some stats on it, something unique. And that's another thing I like about these foods. They all have unique stats, which is just, it's a great addition to the game, and I don't see why we don't have more of it. And that's about all I got on the topic. Definitely a great recipe to have, make, or maybe even use.